Yo, good morning. How's it going? Seth or Saya, you got alert, but you're so weak. Did you even sleep, or Saya? Damn. Sun, what sun? There's no sun. Anyway, hello. How's it going? Good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu, minasan. Konbanwa, konnichiwa. Hi. Wherever you are in the world, hope you're having a nice day. In this case, here it's good old 8 in the morning. You know, as usual. So, yep. Today we're gonna continue studying. Today is the second week, apparently. Kind of impressive. What I find kind of impressive is that I actually stream every day for the past 2 weeks. At least once, if not twice. Even if for some of those streams were at the evening, which means in terms of Japanese days, I did skip some. But then the next day, they like to, it's weird. I don't like to think about it that way, but it's interesting how that works, you know? Coffee nomitai. I want to keep drinking coffee for a little bit and just kind of chill. It's kind of warm and nice. Okay, well, let's start, shall we? Yo no kanji renshu hajimarimashou. Hi. So let's see. Flashcards. There's like usual. Let's go. So compensation. This is like on top of head, or like humble acceptance, or like itadaku or something like that. I'm never quite sure what it is. This was duplicate. Umi, sea, ocean. So that was the mirror, cause standing the light, see the feet. Mirror, kagami. Kagami desho? Kagami. Mirror, sail. So I gotta finally remember that it's not that it's the wind, it's just that it's a very mediocre sail. As a towel, really. Bag. Captain Hook. Banging as he's laying on the plank. Castle. So it's like that, but I don't remember if it's. I'm pretty sure it's Shiro, but not Shiro, but Shiro. Hi. Also, I drew it like very, very wide, as per usual, because of my bad habits. But so this was the boundary, the land and the mirrors. Yep, sure is. Drought. What was this? Land and cultivate. Divide. Oh, this was deceased because of the cool little imagery. Stomach, abdomen, onaka. Yep, something like that. Except it looks kind of janky. Tranquilize, or something along those lines, I suppose. I don't know. Oto, sound. So we have standing sound. Oh, sound employee. What was the sound employee? Because they're making like the rhymes for the stupid ads. Rhymes. Right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, okay. So the show. Okay. Yeah. So I got it right. It's hard to see because I didn't make those lines very well defined, and I'm pretty sure like most e adjectives is like wakai, wakai, right? Wakai. Nice. Overnight stay. Tamari. Oh, it's not necessary. Tamaru. Tamanai. Tamaru. Yep. Yeah, much like the other kanji for stop is also has the ma like outside in a way. But yeah. That tamaru. Kurai. Darkness. So, to discriminate, to talk shit about the kazoo or something. Discriminating, sure. Vague, I believe it was, yeah. What's this? Admonish? Sure was. This is dark brown. Mirror. Kagami. These are, I feel like they're easier to remember because I saw them yesterday night, so like right before I slept. So I feel like it hasn't really passed an entire day, and that's why I had this ease. So this is Suna. I don't remember if it's Suna or Suna. If I had to take a solid guess, it'd be Suna. Suna. So, technique. Looks kind of janky, but we'll do. Receive. Boundary. Land with mirrors. Well, the land of the mirrors, right? The boundary is to the next world or something. I don't know. Something along those lines. Whatever helps you. Thick. Yeah. So. Kind of like that. Tames to test or to test. Could I? This. Could I? Deceased. Cultivate. So land, and they grow, and then you eat them. Compensation. Well, the main part is the money, and then it's the dog that bit the person. If you're gonna need to compensate, and that's why it has a muscle. Drought. From early in the morning, you beg, because that's how bad in the spray you are, I guess, or something. Rhyme. Sound employee. That sound employee ended up being more effective than it has any right to be. Duplicate. I don't feel like I have a good way of remembering this. It just has been showing up all morning. divide, then conquer. First you conquer, then you divide. Discriminating, talking shit. Why are you talking shit about the kazoo? Such a fun instrument. Yeah, sometimes I come up with these annoying ways of remembering kanji that annoys me. Not really quite piss me off, but annoy me. Why would you discriminate like kazoo? Why did I think of that? Onaka. Stomach, belly, abdomen, whatever you want to call it. Umi. 海じゃなくて海でしょ。海。So, to beg, kagami, mirror, boundary, which funnily enough we know it's kyo for kyokai, and then no kanata and stuff, right? That's in Beyond the Boundary and stuff. The anime. Deceased. Sound employee for rhymes. Mirror. Kagami. Discriminating. Why are discriminating the consumer? Mirrors, right? Yeah. Deceased. Discriminating. Discriminating is kind of really fun to draw. Honestly. And grind. Made by the sound employee. Well, there we go. Those are all the J.Heisig kanji words. Internet pickups. Like that. Oh no, that. Secret. Naisho. Naisho. Necessary needed. Hitsuyo. Hitsuyo. Right? Hitsuyo. Hitsuyo. Ginko. Bank, yeah, I need that. Ginko. When you know, I'm looking at the word immediately in the dictionary because I already know how to read it. It's because I'm looking for the pitch accent pattern. Because I already know very well the word, so I don't really need. This is and I'm once again would like to. I'm pretty sure it's Nemuru. This worry concern Shinpai. Shinpai. はい。次。決める to decide in many different ways, honestly. 決める色 that's in color, basically. Skillful. So, 上手 or うまい。ちょっと待ってね。Pretty sure うまい just has the typical うまい yep and 上手 上手上手上手配信 which is exactly this stream, the distribution of information and stuff. 配信配信配信あ次他 other 指 finger 映画 so 映画 that's a movie or film important as a big deal AG 大事でしょ大事 No, it really is 大事 It's not 大事 it's 大事 So I was not incorrect about that なるほど大事 Man, as in 10,000 10,000 is such a little character well yeah bank 銀行銀行 First time has miss this is for Hatsu right like there's no weights for anything else so this is modoru Kas. Sure. No, kas. Well, this is usually gonna be conjugated. Kashite, right? Kashita and stuff like that. Kas. It's so hard when it ends in su, unless I properly say su, to just accentuate it and elevate the pitch for su. Kas. Shouldn't I did the wrong order. You know, distribution of information 配信じゃなくて配信必要決める指心配なんだ多分心配多分だけど心配すんな心配なるほど映画I'll probably eventually have freaking pitch accent flashcards at this rate. There you go. Okay. 色 指、銀行、銀行、指、色。Oh, we're done! Woo! Yay! That was nice and fast. Hi. Coffee nomimasu. Woo, yeah. Well, it's time to add new words and do more stupid rounds, though. It's just kind of like the best part, honestly. Yo, Abby, how's it going? Well, good morning. Ohayo. 来てくれてありがとう. How are you doing? Hope you're doing okay. We're just chilling here. I just finished my flashcards. We're about to add new words, but before that, I wanna drink some coffee. Ah, Selena. Ohayo. Konbanwa. Welcome. Good morning for me, actually. Good evening, wherever it is. Why did people 私の時間はここ8時40分ぐらい。そう朝の。日本は今なんだっけ10時40分でしょ。それより早い。まあそんな早くないと思う。まあ毎日7時ぐらい起きる。9:39 for you, I see. Yeah. But yeah, basically I wake up every day, like around 7:30 or so. But yeah, I gotta make these streams early. Because the thing is, I eventually I'd like to continue these streams for as much as possible, even though once I start class it's gonna be really hard. Because this is like the best time for Japanese people, in a way. And it also, yeah, waking up really early to study is both good, it's good. Because once I go back to classes, this was one of my biggest struggles. So having a good routine that I can follow is fantastic. Sentence, like what? Like set phrases for flashcards? I'll probably eventually start adding those. Yeah, but for now I'm just kind of worried about words. Because when I'm seeing all the grammar with Taiki and I'm seeing words anyway, I can just kind of piece together things anyway. I'm a bit more concerned about slang. In which case, yes, for slang I will definitely add flashcards. And once I finish like all the grammar stuff, I can look into ways of making more fun and interesting ways of studying, and that will include like sentences that maybe I took from a game or from an anime, and stuff like that, you know. はい、続きましょう。皆さん。新しい漢字 learn. I don't know how to say learn. Yesterday we saw these, right? Discriminating, mirror, boundary. So let's do some more dumb drawings to remember kanji. 落書きで新しい漢字を覚えましょう。So, yeah, no kidding. In terms of like the kanji usage, it is, right? It's just into Japanese have like hiragana, katakana, and they change stuff. In terms of grammar and sentence structure and stuff like that, I have no clue. I barely studied any Chinese to know that. Also, if you're Chinese, ni hao. And that's about all I remember. For watching, uh, that's all I remember. I took them in 5th grade, 6th grade, something like that. It's been far too long. Anyway, let's learn blind. So basically, if we were talking that this is deceased, right? Because we have the imagery of a hanging man. How do you learn them? How do I learn those things? Ni hao and xie and stuff like that. I took Chinese classes in 5th grade and 6th grade. I was supposed to take Chinese all throughout high school, but I had to move and change countries. And in that new country, they did not teach Chinese at all. So I kind of eventually dropped it. And then eventually in university, I decided to pick up Japanese instead. Also, there was this cool show that I used to watch a lot with my family called Peking Express, in which Spanish people would have to travel across China to make it to Peking or across Asia, and they had these plastic flashcards in a way with set Chinese phrases, and that's all they had to work with, and maybe some English to do like auto stop, right? Stop cars and stuff, and sleep and find somehow. They had no money, and they had to find a way, any way, to get to Peking. And so from there you could hear like set phrases like those. Yeah. See, this is exactly what we're doing. This is exactly this method is teaching us kanji. So the word we are learning is not fully the exact meaning that it's used in Japanese, but it's a really good way to remember it and basic. So yeah, basically we have deceased, which for me right now the image I have is of a ceiling fan, and then you have someone that hung themselves from there, right? And that's this, the ceiling fan, and that's how I remember deceased. Ooh, actually, let's just for you, Phantom. Ooh. Anyway, good morning, Phantom. How's it going? Welcome. So we have deceased, and then if we add I, right? Because it's this, right? We need to make it so it's blind, and there's two ways I'm thinking of. Either one gets blind because they see a dead body for the first time and they get traumatized, or when the person that's dead cannot really see much, so the eyes of the dead may as well be blind or something like that. Either or. It's easy to remember. Yeah. Isn't there like a better way I can use than momokteki? Fine. Anyway, let's add it to the hiccups. No. It is happy to. Yeah, it's happy. Momokteki. That's meaning if. Yeah. Fine. Different to English. Yeah. No. And every morning I sit down here and I gush about kanji for like an hour, saying how much I love it, how much I like making stories, how intuitive it is, how much sense it ends up making. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Um, it's so cool. It really is. And then I like to do a straight line of practice. Because as much as having a good image of what the kanji means in your head is good practice, and you should be able to remember from that, there's no good practice like writing stuff down a million times. That's how I grew up, basically. Since I was a little kid, just write the thing a million times. It is how it is. You're stuck learning Japanese speaking? Oh, do you not like learning Japanese speaking? Or do you mean that you're stuck in terms of you cannot make any progress? You can understand a bit of speaking and reading. Nice. いいな. You don't know how to study it. Ah, なるほど. Do you want me to explain to you the method I'm going on about to learn it? Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I'm guessing for kanji, you're not gonna have kanji. You're not gonna have that much problem, because you're Chinese, right? 中国人でしょ? Just Hong Kong. Cool. So I'm guessing for kanji, you're not gonna need much trouble, but yeah, for kanji, I'm using this, of giving meaning to them, and then I'm picking up words I see every day and add them to flashcards, right? In terms of learning phrases and stuff like that, or learning really anything that you just want to brute force memorize, flashcards is probably one of the best way. In terms of grammar, I'd recommend you check this guide out. It's the one I'm using every time. Taikim, Guide to Grammar. It's so good. You learn everything about how Japanese works. And after that, right, once you understand all the grammar and you are just stuck picking up words, picking up phrases, picking up how it's the most natural way to say things, that's when you go full on immersion and you start consuming a lot of Japanese content. So you want to hear a lot of Japanese and be able to read a lot of Japanese and stuff like that. So for reading, for example, in my case, I use Twitter a lot. Because that way I practice hiragana and katakana a lot. Right? A lot of, just follow a bunch of Japanese people. There's also stuff, if you don't want to do that, you can instead use H&Q News CC Japanese, was it? I forget. News Web Easy, NH, or, right, this also help to learn stuff. Yeah, it's a big Gundam. It's the pattern. Oh, do you mean does not have people inside? Oh, you mean as in how they... Oh. So they don't really... Like breaking STH? What do you mean? As in like you... Like breaking something? Oh, so like they just use the verb but they don't specify who broke the thing, right? No, pen washita, right? That's in the pen broke, in a way. Yeah, that's basically something. It's a very contextual language. You have to. A lot of things go by context. Again, the grammar guide I think makes a really good, explains very well usually how it works. But again, a lot of the time, again, it's gonna be through context. In that case, what I recommend to you is not in terms of it's immersion. Here is basically a method for immersion. Refold. By basically, you just want to be able to listen to a lot of Japanese. It's like the best way to go about it, really. I don't know, it's something you start picking up as you listen to it often, right? As a huge weeb that has been listening to anime for the past like 8 years, stuff like that I can pick up. Right? So you can watch shows or dramas and stuff. Like I personally have watched Kekkon Dekinai Otoko, right? Kekkon Dekinai Otoko. As a drama, it was fun, entertaining, and now I'm watching on Netflix Terrace House. It's been pretty useful actually, in terms of Japanese learning and stuff. Whether you like the content or not, that's another thing, but I'm pretty sure you can find Japanese content that you enjoy, and just try to listen to it in Japanese, right? But yeah, it's just Terrace House, honestly. You can find it like, even though they write it in katakana, like, just being able to listen to it is really effective. I can tell you follow the grammar guide and you'll probably understand everything, but that's not how it goes. Also, like, just games and stuff, I don't know, whatever hobby you enjoy, try to do it in Japanese, right? If you're really trying to learn the language. That's how I'd go about it, right? So I sit down here every day, I study my kanji, right? I study my new words and I study my grammar. And then when I'm doing out my hobbies and stuff, right, I sit down and I watch Japanese shows, I watch anime, I sit down and watch VTubers or scroll through Japanese Twitter. And those things, slowly but surely, I pick up more and more things. Yeah, will you go to Japan in the future? That's the idea, yeah. Nihon ni ikitai. So one day I would like to go to Japan. To do exactly what? I don't know. I don't think it's a great place to work. You'd earn a lot of money, but you'd be you'd have no social life. I feel like that's the impression I get anyway. Or maybe, I don't know. Interesting, but I would definitely love to visit Japan for sure. I think it's a gorgeous country. But yeah. Anyway, let's continue, right? Also, by the way, Discord I have like a bajillion resources. I compile when trying to learn in Japanese this past 4 years, whenever I kept dropping it. I have an entire channel called Resources and stuff. And if you scroll up, I have like a bajillion dictionaries, different resources, and a lot of different things. But honestly, as long as you're doing immersion, you're good, probably. Yeah, immersion is the best way to pick up things, and studying the grammar is, I realize it's really important, because you can, from immersion, you can start picking up the grammar, but it's important to know exactly how it's supposed to work and how it's actually used in language. Dilution. Jesus, hold up. Moso, Bokyo, Woman, misuse, abuse, incoherent talk, unfair criticism, Bohyo, Moro. Yeah, so if you go, I have a channel called Resources and stuff. If you scroll up, I have like a lot of stuff. Yeah, enjoy. Okay, more so. Pause. Okay, so delusion. So the ideal woman does not exist, or kill it on your head. Perish the thought of her. Perish the thought of her, because it's a delusion. Damn, that's kind of an interesting way to go about it. You just kind of bam, kill her, because it does not exist. It's actually to reality and stuff. Perish the thought of your waifu and embrace 3D. What the fuck am I saying, dude? Sometimes I should just shut up. More so. Delusion. And the other way I can think about this kanji is that, you know how like TV shows or films and stuff, sometimes like there's a dude and his wife dies or something, and he's still hallucinate or like crazy, still thinks she's there, or like he thinks like he cannot go out with anyone else or something. It's like in this delusion that she's still there in a way, right? So delusion that of the dead wife in a way or something. I don't know. If that helps you remember better. Actually, I think it does help me remember better. Kind of messing up real bad. Like, you're a sick song, by the way. Sometimes I'm listening to this Memory, a Harmony of a Hunter Returns album, and I feel like, damn, I really want to play some Metroid. I still haven't played Dread, because I can't. A delusion. Laid waste? Laid waste? Well, I put waster, but it still understood me. Oh man, I want to play some Metroid Prime. Jesus. No. Oh, I really want to play some Metroid. Metroid Prime. Sotai. I'm not entirely sure yet what the difference between Mo Ichido and Mo Ikkai are. I think like in this case it'd be Mo Ichido, but I'm not sure. God damn, do you ever just hold a sneeze, but it doesn't come out? You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sneeze, it's so bad. You have this itching in your nose, it never comes up, it never... Kushami denakatta. Nanka... Kuyashi! Nanka... したかったでも来なかった出なかった出なかった、そんなlate waste. I mean, flowers dead on a river or on water, I suppose. Oh, and a flood. Yeah, actually that's helpful, because think of these small cities or towns, really, right? where there's like a river nearby, and then it rains a lot and it floods, right? And then the entire land's kind of laid waste, and the flowers that maybe they have planted here are then taken by the river. I kind of like that imagery, actually. The fact that it's a flood really does help. Man, this piano version of Wily's Castle 1 and 2 is so sick. No, piano version. Ski. You like it, Abby? Oh yeah, Abby, do you know of OC Remix? Have I talked to you about it? Or have I talked about it while you were watching? Okay, late waste. So blind illusion and late waste. Ambition. Dead Flesh and King. The story of Ambition talks of a king walking under the perishing or waning moon, dreaming great dreams about his kingdom. The roots of ambition are from the same word as ambulate, meaning to walk about. Ambition. Shibo. Chatto. Ah! Wait! Bo. Shibo. Kibo. Okay, interesting. Interesting. See, sometimes I learn from J.Heisig Kanji the most unexpectedly useful kanji that I already can associate with a word I properly know. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. So we have deceased, the moon or flesh. I just thought of the best way to remember this kanji. Does anyone know of Prince of Persia? And does anyone know of Prince of Persia 2 Thrones? I played that game as a kid a lot, actually, because I got it second hand for like $10. And I played that game like 2 or 3 times, or 4, 5? I don't know. Because it's short, it's cool, and I really like Prince of Persia. So it's the dying flesh, right, of the prince, because it's kind of turning into sand back and forth between flesh and sand, and of trying to save his kingdom in a way. And he's like really ambitious. He's telling this story throughout the entire game. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Bam. There's also like the warrior within, which is the same thing. He's about to die in a way, right? Dying of flesh, because he messed with the timeline in sense of time. So he has to go to like the kingdom and stuff. There are many ways to think about it, but I just think of this kanji now. Bam, Prince of Persia. Oh, I love it. Like this ambulate thing does also kind of apply given what you do in the game. That's so cool. That's so cool. Being able to associate hobbies and stuff to this kanji so I can remember them is so cool. Also, I'd stream my playthrough of the Prince of Persia games again because I have the entire collection on Steam. And I did start playing them recently. But I cannot, because whenever you use it, it kind of blocks your PC. It kind of boots up an emulator that you cannot exit unless you close the game. And with only one screen, I cannot go back to OBS and stuff. It's really annoying. But what can you do? Yeah. I'm gonna squeeze it in here. I know I can. Nice. Did I even add that one? Only one way to find out. Yeah, I didn't. Keyboard. Ambition. Yeah, I didn't. And finally, the erection. Spinning a dagger about and it's held in the top of a top hat, waiting to see in which direction it points when it comes to rest. It lives to fate where one is going next. Take care of writing this character. Go to the shop. Direction way side area type. Means boy. Naruhodo. Oh boy. Wait, what? It means boy. Apparently, I don't know. I mean, that's for tomorrow's lesson. Here, boya. It's the kanji for boya. Dude, for me it's always so fucking funny when there are MILFs in anime that call the little shonen teenage main character boya, right? I've always found that hilarious because I thought it was just like a funny way to pronounce boy in English. No, it's actually a fucking word, a kanji. It means place in Chinese. Yeah, as you can see, the things can differ. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, but that's for next lesson, for tomorrow. I can only remember so many kanji a day. That's handicraft and bo. So, yeah, because I have this extension, as you can see, that I also use in chat to learn kanji. So, yeah, I mean, by no means is that boya use common. It's just something you tend to see in like fiction. Real life, no one's gonna use it like that. No one's gonna use it, period. I don't think. But yeah, kata or ho. This one is super easy because it shows up everywhere. In fact, I use it from time to time. Like, this is a kanji no oboe kata, like a way to remember kanji, right? As in way of. And the way I like to remember direction is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Golden Kamuy, but basically in Golden Kamuy there's this girl like that has like this hat or something, or no, there's this woman, right? And she puts this bone thing on top of her head, like with a jaw, and drops it, and with that she fortunes tells and shit. And that's where they decide where to go next in their search for the treasure and stuff. If you've seen the anime Golden Kamuy, you'll know. So instead of that, I can just think of a knife on top of your head or your top hat. Although I don't really need any way to remember this kanji because it's so common. It's just way too common. Like, I kid you not, you see this everywhere, every time. Well, maybe not that much, but it is very, very common. That's why you feel confusing sometimes. Yeah. It's probably harder when things are similar but not enough, right? Like, it's easier for you to remember a lot of it, but sometimes you need to stop and be like, wait, hold up, this is completely different. I'm guessing if I were to, as a Spanish person, would try to learn a French or Portuguese or Italian, or I'd find things like those as well, where I'm thinking it's something because it sounds very similar to a thing in Spanish, or writes very similar, but it's completely different. In fact, I believe someone in Komani's chat called it fake friends, where you think it's a familiar, friendly word, but then it's not, and it bamboozles you. But yeah, for those cases, since you don't probably need to use the thing down below, I recommend that for cases like those where the kanji is different, just make a flashcard out of it. You write like the boya kanji and you say, in Japanese it means like boy, right? You make a flashcard out of it. But only for the reading, where you only see the kanji, and then the flashcard shows you the Japanese reading. Because I think that's probably the only thing you'd need. Because if you do the other way, you're gonna end up confusing yourself further than you need to. You're not right. Do I feel tired? No, I do not feel tired. You have not right. Yeah, fair enough. Neither have I. All the things I've reading since I entered university again has been a lot of code. But no, let me show you something. This is how I remember stuff myself. And these are all double paged. So much like the one I'm doing where I'm using the 2 pages. Like, for me, writing down something in paper means I'm properly memorizing it. If I don't properly write something, even for university notes and stuff, even if it's coding notes for Python, if I don't write it down in paper, it's harder for me to remember it. It's just the way I've been learning stuff all my life. So yeah, I do not feel tired. As a kid, my hands used to hurt when I had to I can use this to suppress. Oh, omnyai janai kedo. So, that was J.Heisig Kanji. What we're about to do now will probably be a bit more helpful to you. Which I have a TXT called Memo for New Words, in which words I see every day, either on Twitter or streams, I write them down, and then I try to brute force the meaning, right? Brute force the memory out of them in a way, right? So I have like a big list, so usually I just choose something at random. Why not? Kuyashi. Why not? I like this one. Vexing, annoying, frustrating, regrettable. Yeah, usually as in frustrating or regrettable, like Kuyashi, right? Something kind of frustrating. So on the left is what I know as the radicals for heart, and on the right you have like every. So like things that you always kind of take in your heart because it's frustrating, and then feels you, right? Because whenever something really frustrating happens, you want to make up for it. Do you watch Japanese TV show? Yes, I do. I just talked about it earlier. On Netflix, I watched Terrace House. This on Netflix. It's entertaining. It's fun. I like it. Fully in Japanese. I also watch a lot of anime. As you can see on my account, here is where I collected all the anime I watch. That's a dramatic change. Is that Chinese or Japanese? This is Chinese, right? Also, my major, I'm studying cybersecurity basically. It has like a more specific technical name, but it's cybersecurity. 今は冬休みだけど。Right now I'm on winter holiday still. Before, after. なんだそれ Before, after. なんだこれ。知らない。Before, after. Oh, is this it's about rebuilding the house. Oh, I used to watch these kind of shows a lot with my mother, but in Canada, funnily enough. We used to watch what is either Love It or Listed. Or what was it? The one about these two twin brothers, that they do a lot of stuff. No, hold on. Traditional house. It sounds interesting. I can look into it later, actually. I keep it up there. But yes, I do watch Japanese stuff, which is why immersion. That's a good thing. Where were we at? Oh yeah, Guyashi. Frustrating. That's Guyashi. Frustrating. Also, I'm guessing the thing is, it also depends on what you watch, but I'm pretty sure if you watch something like that, you're gonna pick up a lot of, like, architecture and building vocabulary, right? Whereas if you watch anime, you're gonna learn useless stuff. Like, magic powers or quirk or, like, I don't know, nonsense that you never use. But, well, at least in the case for, like, watching something like Terrace House, I do learn, like, proper, actual, everyday, normal stuff, right? I'm trying to make the best out of the space I have. Okay. When I use a new page, when there's so much blank space here, that's gonna get wasted because I'm bad at spacing stuff. Okay, so this is the final page. So we learn Kuyashi. Let's learn that one. Mikata. Friend, ally. Kata. Which is flavor and direction. How does this fit together for Mikata? I don't know, you tell me. I just like the ally meaning, and it's something I've heard a lot. Kata. Kata. As in ally. Or friend. In terms of like friend or foe, right? That kind of friend. As in your ally, you're, a good guy in a way, right? For you. Kata. This one's kind of nice because I already know both kanji. So it's just a matter of piecing the parts together,この漢字も知ってたけど、言葉知らなかった。よく聞いたけど、あんまり読んだなかった。That looked very pretty. That looked very nice. That now looks junk. Got that. Whee. Got that. Okay, with that, what's today's final word of the day? I don't need to learn this. I don't need to learn this either. I already know that. I'm looking at words, something like ochitsuku. Not really. Kotoshi, not really. Furui, I already kind of know. Jodan, I already kind of know. Miyotoshi as a oversight, I kind of like, but it's not really much of a new word. Shorty, no, cool. Buji for safe, I'm good. Inki. toru for to take a picture. Actually, yeah, why not? Toru. So this, right? This is to take a photo. And I just realized toru, how easy it is, because it's on the left side you have hand, and then on the right hand, in the right side you have this for side or almost, in a way. Alright, so it just kind of comes easy, naturally, right? Okay, so let's start the final word for today. Toru. Toru. To take, as in a photo. Toru. Oh yeah, by the way, Slane. Wow, actually, how should I call you? Is that okay? Because I don't know how to properly pronounce or say that. Or there's another way. Do you know about Eugene Lee? Should I just call you Lee then? Leeって呼んでいいかな？いいよ。Lee's your last name? Oh, okay. Oh, it's just Eugene, I guess. I was just kind of asking how to pronounce your username, because using your actual name on the internet, I guess not. What I want us to ask is, do you know about pitch accent? Because I don't know, how does intonation and accentation work in Chinese? Because I don't think I ever saw that. Because for Japanese, I'm constantly looking and kind of paying attention to the pitch accent, right? As pattern, as you can see here. Because this is toru. It's not toru. It's toru. Right? Not toru. So not toru. It's toru. Have 9 tone. Okay. So I'm guessing for you it's easy to pick up. Because in my case, I'm really not used at all to pitch or tones in that way. In Spanish and English, we don't have anything like that. We just kind of make emphasis on the proper part of the word, right? I'm not used to lowering or making the pitch higher. Learn to learn Cantonese, yeah. Too many tones, yep. It sounds about right. Hopefully I'm doing okay with pitch accent and stuff. Like, the more I paid attention to it, the more I'm kind of getting used to it, at least when it comes to hearing. When speaking, I think I'm doing okay, but I don't get any feedback, so it's hard. Yeah. That's exactly what why I care about stuff like that. For example, the easiest cookie cutter example everyone would go to is, at least in Japanese, right? Yeah, ame, right? Ame, and then you have ame, right? So ame and ame, it's like the same thing, a and me, but depending on your intonation, your accent, your tone, or stuff, it's gonna change the meaning completely. And there's a lot of words like that, and I do care about that. Even though I may not be perfect, and when a lot of phrases and really things, how exactly the pitch is gonna go through, change there, I'm probably not gonna be very aware of it. I do want to care enough that I know it, I'm aware of it, and I know it exists. はい。今日の漢字練習、ここまで。お疲れ様。 Anyway, so we're done with the kanji practice. Now it's time to look at grammar and stuff. その前にちょっとだけ言ってきます。すぐ戻ります。はい。Before we jump into grammar and stuff, I want to take a quick little break. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Harsh weather. It's really cloudy here. It has not snowed or rained yet, but I'm pretty sure it's about to, because this is Canada after all. Anyway, be right back. ちょっと待ってね。 Tadaima. So I'm back. So yeah, let's continue. Hold up. So here, it's cold. I don't know how cold. Well, that's not it. I don't know how cold it really is, because in my room we have like a heating system, so it's usually kept around 20 something. You have Celsius, of course. But I don't know how cold it's outside. There's still some snow left. Not everything has melted, so that's cool. Yeah. So let's learn grammar and stuff. So this notebook, not only is it useful for takugakis, right, for doodles and stuff, but it's also my vocabulary list from the Taikim guide. Yesterday we learned like sakeru, to scream, and tsubuyaki, to mother in a way, right? I'm gonna put this aside for a moment, and let's open my little grammar book, grammar guide and stuff. And yesterday we saw. So before moving on to today's lesson, which would be defining and describing という we're going to review what we saw yesterday, as always. はい、昨日のこと覚えましょう。皆さん。はい。So performing an action on a relative clause. So earlier on the book we saw how to perform and how to use relative clauses with like nouns, and we could use o on them, right? However, in this case, we're trying to do an action and such, and the o only really applies to those noun phrases. And basically, what I want to do is have like quoted phrases that we can perform an action on, as in to say, to hear, to think, or to say someone said something in particular word for word, right? It's pretty simple. So at the end of your clause, you add to. And there are a couple of ways of doing this. First, you have like the direct quote, the word for word quote, where you just put the quotation marks and then the to after, and then the appropriate verb to say or to hear, right? Arisu ga samui to itta. So, and it is said, oh, it's cold, or cold. And that's exactly what she said, right? Quoted. This is usually more in things you're gonna read, like novels and stuff. Not so much actual day-to-day. 今日は授業がないと先生から聞いたんだけど. So I heard from the teacher that there's no class, right? I heard from the teacher, oh, there's no class today, like specifically word for word. Then there's the interpreted quote. Also, the to and the verb don't need to be connected. So, samui to Alice ga Tanaka ni itta. So, cold from Alice to like Tanaka, it's what she said in a way, right? I'm trying to do a really literal weird translation, but I like to think of it more in Japanese. So basically, still connected, still applies, still the same. It doesn't matter. So, let's continue. The interpreted quote, which is not word for word, it's just a way to express, in a way, really, what someone said or heard, or because it's not quoted, you can also express what you're thinking or what you're considering or thinking about. Not what your opinion is, but also what you're going through, in a way, right? So, for example, これは日本語で何と言いますか? Right? So, how do you, in Japanese, how you say it, right? In a way, it's hard to explain. That example is not very good. So for this, prolix will help more. So, カレーを食べようと思った. So like, oh, let's go eat curry, or I wanna go eat curry. That's what I thought. けど, but 食べる時間がなかった. So I thought, oh, I wanna go eat curry. Let's go eat curry. But I didn't have time to go eat. Or another example is, 今どこに行こうかと考えている. So right now, where should I go is what I'm considering or thinking about. Which it doesn't translate very good to English, because in English it would be, I'm thinking about where to go. This is probably how you say it in English. So if the quoted relative clause, it's only a state of being for a noun or not adjective, then you add だと. And the だ to と, so だと. So 彼は高校生だと聞いたけど信じられない. So 彼は高校生. So that's just the normal state of being for a noun. As in high school student. That's what I heard. だと. So 彼は高校生だと聞いたけど信じられない. That's what I heard. I heard that he's a high school student, but I cannot believe it. Right? It's important to add that because it will change the meaning. Also, much like the example from before, 先生から今日は授業がないと聞いたんだけど, here is the exact same phrase as before, but it's not a word for word thing with quotations. You're just saying, oh, I heard that there's no classes, but it's not exactly what the teacher sensei said word for word. So, the to is very useful. It's used a lot. And a lot of the times you'll hear like a clause, and then you something like tomo, or that's what I think, right? That's my opinion. Right? Because they're not very direct about it. Because, for example, something like この映画はすごいと思います。So this film is great, I think, right? I'm not gonna say straight up, oh, this is a great film, and that's a fact. That's not something that's gonna happen too often, but then again, maybe I'm just generalizing and using stereotypes and stuff. So, for casual stuff, instead of using to, you use te. And not only you use te, but you're gonna ignore the verb and everything afterwards, because from the context, it should hopefully come across that that's what you heard, that's what you think, or that's what, in something like that, in a way. So, ともこは来年海外に行くんだって. So, だって or だと聞いた. Right? So in this case, te would be replacing something like だと聞いた, right? Or something like I heard. もうお金がないって, right? So something like もうお金がないと言った, right? I already say that there's no money. 言った言ったはいはい something for like that. 今時間がないって本当? So so here in 4 and 5 you can see exactly. So this te here in 4 could easily be replaced for ato if for a bit more of a formal setting. So 今時間がないって聞いたんだけど本当? I'm saying, hey, so now there's no time is what I hear, right? But is that true? Right, in a way, a very literal translation, which sounds awkward, but the more natural translation is like, I heard you don't have time now, is that true? Right? But then you can see how te is used as in the kitan dakedo. You can straight up remove it from, because hopefully from the context, it comes across and it's understood. So, oops. So it'd be something like, 今時間がないって本当? The thing about not being time, like I heard there's no time, or you don't have time, right? Is that true? again, it depends a lot on the context. Because this could very well mean you don't have time, or simply that there's no time. Or it can be, it depends on the context, the situation, and stuff. But they can also, it's thrown around at all the time, constantly, as just a way to introduce a new topic. Kind of like what? Or just to kind of talk about something. So, 明日って雨が降るんだって. So, like, about tomorrow, I hear like it's going to rain. So, instead of what, you're gonna say te. And that's something you're gonna hear a lot. And for some reason, I also think of like tesa, like, you know, about this. In a way that it's very casual, very assuming, and very informal, really. アリスってすごい人ですよね。でしょう。Right, すごい人でしょう。You know, Alice is like, she's a very nice person, right? Again, not necessarily quoting or anything, just kind of bringing up a topic. And just kind of think of it almost like the concept of like in English. Like is to, you know, to like something. But it's common to just kind of drop it in there in the middle. Like, that's not cool, you know? Like, you're not really saying much, and that like doesn't really add much, but it's just kind of there. It's very casual, it's not right, in a way. So that's the association I make right now. But yes, that was performing an action on Untitled Plus. Hopefully that was clear. It is clear to me simply because I'm here often, and we only needed one page. Today we're gonna see defining and describing using という, which is a form that I hear constantly. So defining and describing with という. So, defining and describing with という. Let's look at the vocabulary before looking at the lesson, just in case there's a new word to learn. いう、これ、何、魚、この、type of fish、デパート、どこ、ある、知る、友達、英語、意味。I already knew all of these. Oh my goodness, 意味。It's so easy now. Because I can clearly see the radicals. 意味. Right, I can clearly see the standing, the sun, and then heart below. Oh my god. No, it's so easy. Okay, tomorrow we'll probably add 意味to freaking flashcards. Okay. I'm not sure if I have it here. I think I do have it on I'm pretty sure I have it on my vocabulary list. I'm not too concerned because it's such a common word I've used a lot. I've never heard of the Thai type of fish. Also, I want to see the intonation or the pitch accent for sakana. 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 Sakana じゃなくて魚。はい。Thankfully, the radicals for Thai are like very simple. Thai, as in type of fish. So always I like to make clean proper notes, so we're gonna be switching pens and stuff. So now that we're kind of okay with vocabulary, yeah, okay, I'll see that later probably. Let's look at the grammar and stuff. So, the various uses of you. In the previous lesson, we learned how to quote a relative clause by encasing it with to. This allowed us to talk about things that people have said, heard, thought, and more. We also took a look at some example sentences that use to and you to describe how to say something in Japanese, and even what to call oneself. Right. So, for example, in my case would be daristo imasu. Right? As in, that's how you call me in a way. So, in this section, we will learn that with to, we can use you in a similar fashion to define, describe, and generally just talk about the thing itself. We'll also see how to do the same thing with the casual te version that we learned about in the last lesson. Okay, so using you to define. In the last lesson, we briefly looked at how to introduce ourselves by using to and you. For instance, we have the following example which Alice used to introduce herself. Watashi wa Alice to imasu. Right? You call it Alice. As for me, you say Alice. Right? Watashi wa Alice to imasu. Right? The sentence pattern is probably one of the first things beginner Japanese students learn in the classroom. In this case, the verb you doesn't mean that someone actually said something. Rather, Alice is saying that people in general say Alice when referring to her. While using kanji for you is perfectly acceptable, in this case, since nothing is actually being said, using hiragana is also common. The idea of describing what a person is known or referred to as can also be extended to objects and places. We can essentially define and identify anything we want by using to you in this manner. As you can imagine, this is particularly useful for us because it allows us to ask what things are called in Japanese or for the definition of words we don't know yet. Practical, I like it. I feel like this song is too loud. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, so let's look at these examples real quick, right? これは何という魚ですか? 何という. So what is this fish referred as, right? 何という. How is this fish called, or as in what is referred as? How is it said off, right? How is what is it referred at really? 何という魚ですか? この魚はタイでしょ。タイと言います。So this fish is known as tai. This is for this fish この魚はタイと言います。はい。ルミネというデパートはどこにあるか知っていますか? So the department store called Lumine, right, about it. どこにあるか where it's located. 知っていますか? As in, do you know where it is? So do you know where this department store called Lumine is? Right? 友達は英語で friend という意味です。なるほど。友達は英語で friend という意味です。So, I could just cut it here, right? 友達は英語で friend という。So you say, in English, you say, so about 友達, in English you say friend. But then it's という意味です. That's in the meaning. Also, as in the said meaning, in a way almost interesting. I kind of like to continue with the entire lesson. Oh man, that's a lot of lesson to go through. I kind of wanted to see the use of it. Kind of want to keep seeing. Okay, let's just look at the vocabulary and see, and I'll take the notes at the end. Shujinko. Did I even write that one down? Although. No. I think I wrote something like Dojo Jinbutsu or something like that. I don't remember. Yeah, this one I don't have at all. Shujinko. Ah, Shujinko. 主人公。なるほど。So that is a main character. Hannin, I already had. Ichiban, I already know, but I don't think I have it written. As it's not my flashcards yet, I might as well write it. Ichiban, 面白い日本人お酒弱い言う本当独身 yeah I didn't know that one 嘘 I didn't know that one リブートパソコン yeah I need those そう少そあと最近とoh my this is a lot of words. Okay, let's take it easy, slowly but surely. 一番一番じゃない一番一番一番一番じゃない一番一番一番 Okay, sure. I mean, what am I gonna say? That's not the pattern? No. Ichiban. Okay. Ichiban, which is, in this case, best or first. Oh yeah, I forgot to write the Shujinko. Thank you. Shujinko. So that's main character. Okay. 面白い日本人お酒 I don't think I ever wrote sake down as much as I already know it. Sake. But sure, why not? It's not like it's hard. It's pretty easy actually. Sake. Come on. I didn't remove this song and now it's here again. I don't want this song. Am I really going to have to go there and remove it myself? Okay, fine. Twilight Zone. Bam. Die. I don't want that song. It's okay. I just don't like. I don't want it. Alcohol. That's okay. UI. Yeah. Like as much as I know this word, I never wrote it down. UI. Oh, okay, this is simple. It's much more simple than I thought it was. You're up. Man, I'm gonna have to use a new page. Tokshin. Single unmarried Tokshin. Okay, sure. She. So single, unmarried. Uso. Uso no kanji shiranakatta. Uso. Muskashi. It's a bit more complicated than I thought it'd be. The kanji for uso. I mean, it's not too hard. Uso. Lie. リブートとパソコンもしてた。things, yeah. こういうことで、そういうことで。So I guess we're gonna learn こういうことで、そういうことで。Okay, like, なるほど。最近どう？最近どう？Okay, fine. That's a really bad way to draw Wakiri. But you know, it is what it is. Saikido. Agumi, フォローありがとうございます。それはバーでしょ？バーじゃない？はい、バー。フォローありがとう。見に来てくれてもありがとう。いらっしゃい、主権者。Welcome to the stream. I appreciate the follow. Thank you. this drop in pitch bothers me. So it's 再起動再起動じゃないじゃなくて再起動再起動再起動再起動はいなんとなくわかりますはい再起動 reboot再起動はあるなのになんでリブート同じじゃないあんた and you first long いつも時来る困るなるほど困る言葉してたけど漢字知らなかった困るすごく簡単ですけどIt's super simple. Okay. 困る。いや困るじゃなくて困る。Which is to be bothered, troubled. Hito 結婚できる幸せなる思う行く意味 I'm not sure if I ever wrote the kanji for 結婚のこのノートに結婚の漢字書きたかどうかあんまり覚えないちょっとないと思うけど Yeah, I don't think I ever wrote the kanji for 結婚書きましょう It's never wrong to write more stuff 結婚 I may have and I think I did but why not 結婚It's funny because right earlier in the stream I wrote in chat like the name of the show 結婚できない男結婚できない男はいなるほど Doesn't look very good but we'll do 結婚はい。marriage, yeah, no kidding. 赤いペンで。So now that we know the words like this, look at the thing. はい。千の言葉もしてたから、I don't know, something or another. Anyway, using you to describe anything. We learned how to use という to describe that what something is known or referred to us. However, we can take this idea even further by attaching to relative clauses. At this point, you is so abstract that it doesn't even really have a meaning. When a relative clause is encapsulated with to, you must have a verb to go along with it. And you is simply being used as a generic verb to enable us to talk about any relative clause. This allows us to describe and explain just about anything, ranging from a single word to complete sentences. As you can imagine, this construction is quite useful and played quite often in Japanese. そうですよね。日本語でこんなことよく使います。でしょ？Let's look at the examples. This was 主人公でしょ主人公はい主人公が犯人だったというのが一番面白かった。So the most interesting thing was that the main character was the criminal. So, 主人公が犯人だったという。So again, という here really is not meaning anything regarding saying or anything. のが一番面白かった。Now, it begs the question, why is the no or ことを use here? 主人公犯人だったのこと。Wouldn't that work as well? それも使えますでしょ No. I think. I mean, let's keep looking at examples. 日本人がお酒に弱いというのは本当 Is it true that Japanese people are weak to alcohol? 日本人はお酒に弱いというのはというのは so it's using both. So というのyeah, it's using both という and the no particle. Okay. 日本人はお酒に弱いというのは本当これは嘘と思う。あんまり知らないけど。嘘だというのは独身だったの So no 独身だった嘘だったちょっと独身だというのは嘘だったの So だというSo the thing about thisのは嘘だったの Was it a lie? Interesting. リブートというのはパソコンの、再起動するということです。So the reboot thing is just to restart your PC, the thing, basically. なるほど。Okay. We can abstract it even further by replacing the relative clause with a generic way of doing something. In this case, we use go, so, and do. Which when combined with you means this way, that way, far away in an abstract sense, and that way respectively. Let's look at the examples. あんたはいつもこういう時に来るんだから、困るんだよ。Oh, it is because you always come. Okay, so あんたは so you いつもこういう時に so at this 来るんだから so because you always come at this time 困るんだよ。So okay. この曲大好き。いつも。I always do like kind of little dance and stuff. Okay. So, そういう人と一緒に仕事をするのは嫌いだよね。So, そういう人 like with that type of person to work together, right? 一緒に仕事をするのは嫌いだよね。 So anybody would dislike. So working with a person like that is disliked, right? So anyone that would like dislike working, they work together with that person, working together with that person. まあね、そういう人はそういう人。In this case, we don't know what's そういう人, or what type of person we're talking about, but a type of person. あいうあまり聞かなかった。I've not really heard the are you formula. あんまり聞かなかった。まあ、ああいう人と結婚できたら幸せになれると思います。Then you can become happy if you can marry that type of person. ああいう人と結婚できたら幸せになれると思います。So, if you were able to marry that person, right? That type of person, right? 幸せになれる so you'd be able to become happy is what I think. How long do you study a day? Usually I only study on streams. 毎日3時間4時間ぐらい勉強しています。まあそれは勉強だけ。趣味、日本語で趣味もあるよ。Yeah, I study like 3 hours, 3 hours, half, 4 hours, depending on the length of the stream. It's what I study every day. Nowadays, anyway, I used to study less or more. Depends on the day, like earlier this year. But nowadays, yeah, 3 hours a day. 3時間ぐらい。But then I also watch shows, do stuff in Japanese a lot, often. My man puts in the work. I try. 頑張っています。毎日。まあ日本語ですっごく面白いと思う。だから好きだから毎日頑張れる。Are you grades though, son? Are you doing well enough? I'm waiting for my grades. I'm waiting for my scores. I don't know. Am I eating well enough? I am eating well enough. I take breaks in between streams, in the stream in between, to go eat a little bit in breakfast and stuff. 大丈夫。ちゃんと食べています。毎日。今は冬休みだから安心しよう。Right now it's winter break, so everything okay. ちゃんと日本語を勉強する。How do you say to be able? 勉強できる。はい。毎日勉強できます。はい。Anyway, the next example is 大学に行かないってどういう意味なの？大学に行かないってどういう意味なの？おいWhat do you mean you're not going to school? どういう意味なの？ What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to college? What do you mean? 母さん、ちょっと待って、冬休みだから。大丈夫。なるほど。こういう、そういう、ああいう、どういう。なるほど。We'll go through the entire lesson again, but let's continue for now. I'm kind of having fun with it. あんた、彼女、友達、何、酒好き、 ある、生きる、多分、行く、もう、お金、もう、帰る、ダメ。洋介。洋介、知らなかった。名前か。なるほど。別れる。別れる。to separate, to break up. なるほど。It makes sense. I already knew that that kanji means separate, but I've been using that 別。別れる。別れる。別れる。別れる。じゃなくて別れる。別れる。To separate, to branch off. Okay. I may as well write it down. 別れる。なるほど。知らなかった。別れる。別れる。別れる。To separate or to break up. Wait, is this gonna be like the romantic sense of like breaking up a relationship? I have no clue. こと、今、彼氏、いる。そう。彼氏も知らなかった。I mean, 言葉彼氏。言葉知っていましたけど、していました。Why am I using the... I cannot use Kev in the middle. Like, している、していたけ。はい。言葉していたけど、漢字知らなかった。知りませんでした。知りませんでした。はいはいはい。Geez, having to able to properly speak is kind of hard. あれが彼氏。So boyfriend. Okay, let's continue and see what we learned from here. So, we attach the question mark ga to you in order to add a questioning element. This is a construction. This construction is used when you want to rephrase or you redefine something, such as the following dialogue, which is rephrasing and making conclusions. Okay. というか、okay. I've heard this from a lot. というか、のちゃん、よく聞いた。聞きました。はい。ミキちゃんは、あんたの彼女でしょ？彼女というか、友達というか、なんというか。You may say girlfriend, friend, something. Do you understand the katakana? はい。そう。ひらがなもカタカナもちゃんと知っています。ちゃんとわかっています。それは最初の勉強してるのこと。That's what I started with. I started studying a lot of katakana and hiragana. That's where you start, really. Because even if you don't know kanji, you can use furigana. はい。漢字あんまり知らないけど、フリガナは本当に助かる。で、NHK といえばこんなサイト。はい。見て、新しいコロナウイルスに気をつけて。 Be careful with the new corona stuff. 優しい日本語で書いたニュース。そうね。助かる。ありがとう。北京オリンピック。北京オリンピック。日本の大臣などは出席しないちょっと席しないまあわかりません私はバカだからさAnyway, let's continue with the examples, I guess. Yeah, というか, you're trying to rephrase a couple of things. Example, okay, so another more examples. お酒は好きというか、ないと生きていけない。お酒は好きというか、ないと生きていけない。So I like alcohol, right? I can't live without it. Okay. Right. So 酒は好きというか、お酒がないと生きていけない。そんな感じかな。なるほど。これは多分でしょ多分いけないと思うというかお金がないからいけない I don't think I'll go or rather because I don't have any money I cannot go わかるわかるというかもう帰らないとダメですけどもう帰らないとダメですけど and I have to go home now. なるほど。というか、to rephrase stuff. というか。なるほど。Rather than using got to replace a conclusion, we can simply use こと to sum up something without rephrasing anything. ミキちゃんが、よしけと、ミキちゃんはよしけと、別れ、はい。ミキちゃんはよしけと別れたんだって聞いたけどねだってということはミキちゃんは今彼氏がないということそういうことということ、so that means ミキちゃんが今彼氏がないということ。So that means that, okay, I just gonna let the translation offer there just help. なんとなくわかる。でも、あんまり英語で説明できない。だから、それ英語でただ読んでください。So just read the example here. そういうこと。なるほど。So if I've heard a lot of times for like VTubers and stuff. ということで、so with that, right? With this, I think we're gonna end the stream, right? In a way, really. ということで、配信に終わりたいと思います。Something like that, right? Well, with that, I think I want to end the stream. Something like that, right? Yeah, 私の配信は、まだ終わらないけど、それはただの聞いたこと、VTuber から。はい。ただ、VTuber じゃない、配信者から。So, using te or te for to you. Okay, I'm kind of really curious about this. 来年、留学。 知らなかった。This is exactly what I'm doing though. I'm studying abroad stuff. これをしていますけど、だってカナダに勉強しています。はい、カナダの大学で。でも私カナダ人じゃない。私スペイン人。だから留学していますでしょ。そんな感じかな。あんまり知らない。留学 to study abroad. Study abroad. する言うともこ。I don't like writing names on my vocabulary list. ともことダメ時間あるできる行くいいみんな私今彼氏いるもう帰る Okay, so let's see using te or do you. So as mentioned in the previous section, te is very often used in casual slang in place of to because it allows us to leave out the rest of the sentence and assume context or just plain assumption. We'll take care of the rest. We already saw that we can use te to replace to you as well. However, since we just learned how to use to you to do much more than just simply say something, there is a limit to just how much you can leave out. In any case, te will allow us to leave out not only you, but also any accompanying particles, as you can see in the following example. Okay, let's see. 来年留学するというのはと僕のこと。So the thing about so in this case 来年留学するってと僕のこと。なるほど。So it's like the same thing, but instead of というのは you say て。Because that's just how useful て。で、なんか便利だよね。It's kind of neat to have, but at the same time, if you don't get the context, it cannot be a really big pain to follow. That te is also another phrase that leaves out just about everything. By convention, it is used to express disagreement or dissatisfaction, usually to whine, complain, or to make an excuse, but you can't tell what it means just from looking at it. It is an abbreviation of something along the lines とは言っても even if that was the case しないとダメだよだって時間がないからできないよ But even so I can't do it because there's no I'm guilty of using だって without knowing what it probably actually meant as excuses Really? Okay. だってもう使ったけどあんまり本当の意味知らなかった。まあ、今分かっています。知っています。まあね。だってなんとなくだっての意味も分かっていました。なんとなく。まあね、悪いことを言ってなかったけど、と思う。I don't think I even said anything really wrong whenever I was using だって、because I kind of already got the meaning anyway. 行かなくてもいいよ。だってみんな行くて私も行かないと。You don't have to go, you know? Yeah, but like everyone say they're going, so I gotta go too, right? Okay. In some cases, the small tsu is left out and just te is used instead of te. This is done, as is usually the case for slang, in order to make things easier to say. In general, this is when there is nothing before the te, or when the sound that comes before it doesn't quite require the explicit separation of the small tsu gives us in order to be understood. ってことは、ミキちゃんは今彼氏がないってことっていうか、もう帰らないとダメですけど。なるほど。ってこと。Yeah, ってことは at the beginning of a sentence, it makes sense. 今彼氏がないってこと今彼氏がないってこと Yeah, there shouldn't really need to do that separation there. 今彼氏がないってことなるほど。Okay, so now we can understand like casual slang. So slang tends to be used in whichever way the person feels like. There are no definite rules defining whether you should use te or te. However, te is generally not used to express what people have said or heard, which is why it wasn't covered in the last section. Miki-chan ga ashita konai te. Kanji is te for something actually said. So in this case, it wouldn't be that. You cannot use that. Miki-chan ga ashita konai te itta. To kita. Something like that. Naruhodo. And finally saying you instead of you. So you instead of you. It's okay. Mo kaeru so koto. Okay, so because the toyu construction is used so often, there are a lot of different variations in slang based on it. While I do not plan on covering all of them here, you can check out casual patterns and slang in the miscellaneous section for yet even more slang derived from toyu. Advanced topics? Is there like a slang encyclopedia or something? Oh well. Not like I care right now. The last thing I'm going to briefly mention here is the use of you instead of you. In conversation, it is quite normal to say you instead of you. You is easier to say because it is simply one letter with a long vowel sound instead of two different vowel sounds of you. Yeah. You. なるほど。っていうか、もう帰らないとダメですけど、そういうことじゃないって。Okay. ってみるvolitional. Okay, the next lesson is also interesting and I also want to cover it, but there's a lot of things we saw here that we need to properly take notes of and stuff. Toyu. Okay, so that's like the grammar of the day. Temiru. Yattemiru. Yattemitai. So what? Man, Japanese is exciting. And I love studying it. God damn. はい。ちゃんとノートを書きたいです。はい。もう一度全部を見ましょう。So let's look at everything like once again as I highlight stuff and take notes and make absolutely damn clear that we understood what we saw today, or at the very least that I understood it. Because to be honest, a lot of the point of me streaming this is so I can be motivated and understand everything. So relative clause by encasing it with to. It's a that you store on YouTube to screw out something in Japanese and even to call myself. So we will learn that we can use you in a similar fashion to simplify, describe, and just talk about the thing itself. And also with the hiccups. What is a hiccup in Japanese? Hiccup 日本語で何という何と言いますか？hiccup ちゃっくりかな、ひゃっくりかな。どっちか？どれでもいいかな？知らない。まあね、そんな大したなことじゃない。Okay, so using you to define, right? The you. I think it's called or it's defined or right? In a way, right? So yes, so and you to introduce ourselves, right? By using と and you. 私はアリスと言います。私はダルスと言います。はい、ダルスだけいいよ。Because I've heard